So, yeah, my name is Akseli, and today I want to talk to you about abstractions in an Angular context. But first, I have this for you. Let's imagine a fence. It can be any fence, just imagine it, and then when you have a fence in your head, just like look ready. Like a person with a fence in your mind. Okay? Starting to look like that. Here's my fence. Traditional Finnish fence. But my fence is a bit special since on this side of the fence we have business requirements, and on the other side of the fence we have software implementations. And now, in my opinion, a lot of software development is us trying to get from this side to that side. So how do we go about getting over the fence from like our initial business requirements to software implementation? I think it's with abstractions. Abstractions are kind of the thing that gives us like a common language to talk with different stakeholders and software people about like how to achieve things. So for my example, I have chosen this business requirement, which is about this fence company that wants to enable customers to order traditional Finnish fences. And right off the bat, we can see that some of our like key abstractions are going to be customer, then there's going to be orders, and then there's going to be like some sort of fence product type of deal. And then we know, because we're like doing some Angular consulting as software, we know that we want to implement these business requirements with a single page application with Angular. So then we know that we're going to get some more abstractions into the mix, because now that we know that we are going to achieve these business requirements with this application, this single page Angular application, we know that we must add some abstractions like page, like an order form, and maybe some sort of cart where we can put like items for our order or something like that. Now, how do we talk to each other? Because it's quite clear that on the business requirement side, like we have some abstractions coming in, and then we have some abstractions coming in from our implementation. But what about the software? So for the next thing, I want to take you back to Angularjs. And on the left side, we see some like common Angularjs abstractions, which were like controller, directive, service, factory, that type of stuff. And then later they added like components into the thing. And also it ran on JavaScript, and in JavaScript everything's like object basically. Like if you want to describe like business object, then everything's just like an object and there's really nothing else to that. And still our goal is to get here on the other side where we have like customers, orders, fence, page, order form, cart. Like that's the end goal that we're trying to represent in this project. So if we go to Angular today, we find a slightly different set of abstractions. So for example, Angular, almost anything and everything can be a component. Or if it's not a component, then it's very likely going to be a service. And then there's naturally some other stuff like pipes and directives, but we don't care about those right now. And then importantly, TypeScript gives us interfaces, which is crucially different from objects in the way that interfaces can actually describe actual like business objects in a very sort of strict way, that you can separate your fence from your order and so on. So now I think we have like a better way of getting through from the business to the abstraction to the software layer, because we can like create some uniformity there. So then about developing the business, I made this like beautiful chart to basically illustrate that we started out with very few abstractions, and then when we decided to do our software implementation, we actually found a lot more stuff in there, and between there's like this abstract layer of abstractions. So they're not software and they're not business. They're just basically things for us to sort of communicate with. And for me, the interesting part about like using a tool like Angular in comparison to some past tools is that once you sort of model the customer or whoever's like business problem it is, then you kind of end up here where you actually tend to learn more about the initial business problem. So you become aware of things like, for example, that the fence information, aka the fence interface, is a different thing from the fence representation, aka the fence component. And you get a lot of like nuance not only in your software model, but you also can like deliver it back to the sort of the business side of the equation, because the act of like designing and implementing the software like tells you more about the real world issue. And that's really all I wanted to talk to you about today in my 10 minutes. So thank you. I have been Akseli. I work at Frantic, and at Frantic we have some jobs. We have a nice stand over there, and I'll be doing the office hours after this. Thanks.